I'm Peter de Bok. I'm the brewmaster of Brouwerij Anders in Halen, in Belgium. And we are existing already 5 years, since 2012. Now our range is around 40,000 hectoliters. After 5 years, that's already a lot. The beer types that we make in this range are IPAs. A little bit strange in Belgium, but we are making a lot of IPAs. Belgium-style beers, wheat beers, and all the dark beers, strong beers especially. The most important in this project was to make so much possible different beers with the same installation. That means beers of 4% alcohol, but that means also beers of 12% alcohol. Also important to use different grains. We can use now 6 different grains, malted or unmalted. And that's a big advantage to make such a range of different beers. GEA is already known in Belgium as a good supplier. It's German, and like we say in Belgium, it's Gründlichkeit. And that was for us our first checkpoint with the supplier. And also our personal contact here in Belgium was a guy who knows a lot about brewing, and we were on the same page. GEA has the newest technology in brewing, like the wet milling, but also using a lot of different malts with the same installation and with a higher efficiency. That's for us important. The equipment from GEA starts with the wet milling. So we have the grains, and we will mill the grains with the water. We have the whole brewery equipment system. So we have also the wort cooler. Then we have our panels to switch our wort to the fermentation tanks. Then we have the centrifuge. After centrifuge we have the BBTs. And then we have an inline dosing system of yeast and sugar, and the beer is going to the filler. It's all the equipment from GEA. With the previous equipment we see 10% more efficiency. It's also depending on which beer that we make. But no regular beer, we have already 95–97% of efficiency. If we make the really strong beers, then it's lower. But for a Laterton, it's really high, comparable with other filters. With a good explanation of the brewmasters from GEA, we find the best solution without efficiency and amount of aroma and taste in the beers. Equipment was delivered end of January, and our first brew was 4 weeks later, 4 or 5 weeks later. It was really fast. It was also built in one size, so it was really quick, and we were very satisfied with the speed of the installation. What you ask, what you get. That's the most important. If you ask a German guy or a German engineer, that's what I want, and he will provide it. And he knows a lot, and he has a lot of knowledge about the system, brewery. So that was, when I compare it with other suppliers, that was the point that was the best. We had a good contact with the sales from GEA Belgium, but the engineer, the project engineer that they sent to us for this project, that wasn't the best what we could have. It was a guy with a lot of knowledge also, and he helped us to get the situation what you new have. And for me as a young guy, young brewmaster, a lot to learn. For me it was also perfect. What I the most appreciate is the dignity of the machines and the trust that we have in all this machine. We are sure that the machine is working. That's the most important. One brew by us is 40 hectoliters with 16 plato. If you go higher in density, the volume will be less. If you go lower in density, the volume will be a little bit higher. So in one day we make 5 brews with this equipment. So we can up to 200 hectoliters a day. We work day and night, so that means in 1 week we can produce 1,000 hectoliters. So in 1 year we can produce 50,000 hectoliters. Quality is also a big issue for us. It's very important. At the moment we are more than 200 different beers, and we don't make label beers. So each recipe of each customer has his own recipe. It can be a recipe from the customer, but it can also a recipe that we wrote for them. I can recommend GEA for sure to other clients because what I say, it's really a good system. It's a system where you can trust on it. And yeah, the guys who sell the equipment know something about the brewing. That's also important.